morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I'm back to show you the free pack blisters from Darkness Ablaze. Now, a little while ago, I did show you a bunch of products, but we didn't have the free pack blisters. Well, now we do, and here's what's kind of weird and kind of cool and kind of awesome. They're new. They're like full-on new cards. These are cards that have been unreleased, and when I say unreleased, I mean unreleased. I don't mean they were released in Japan, but we haven't had them over here yet, they're not in the set. I mean they have not been released. Now, to be fair, they should have been released. There were a set of gym promos over in Japan, including these cards, including Poltergeist V as well, that ended up not being released. And the reason they weren't released isn't some kind of nefarious thing. It was purely a case, I should give a shout out to the lovely Primal Lugia over at PTCGRadio here for hooking me up with this image of the unreleased cards. It's just the tournament's got cancelled. And it's hard to give out promotional cards when the tournament at which you're going to be giving them out doesn't happen. So we end up getting these Eevee and Flareon cards actually before Japan. Well, we're not actually getting them for a little while yet. This set isn't actually out till August, so maybe Japan still pips us to it. But as it stands at the moment, we're getting them, and I've not seen any news on whether Japan is or not. But what we have here is an Eevee and a Flareon that are actually good. Like the Eevee especially, and I'm going to show my working in a minute. Don't worry your pretty little heads about it. I believe this is the best Eevee we've got. I mean, look, we all loved the Sun and Moon Eevee, which incidentally was the same as the Furious Fists Eevee, which is to say when you attached a basic energy to it, you got to search your deck for a Pokemon of the same type that evolves from Eevee and evolve up into it. Clearly, that is the superior Eevee, and I ain't going to try and pretend otherwise. But there's another Eevee that I'm a huge fan of. It's the one from Plasma Freeze, which had Signs of Evolution. One colourless energy, search your deck for 3 Pokemon of different types that evolve from Eevee, put them into your hand. Now, for me personally, I preferred this back in Rising Rivals, when it was 2 cards that evolved from Eevee, but you didn't have to pay for the attack, it was free. And for completeness sake, there was also the Eevee in Sandstorm that had Signs of Evolution, which was just 3 cards that evolved from Eevee. They did not have to be different types. So all 3 times we've previously had this Eevee, they have been ever so slightly different. One was 3 of different types, one was 2, but you didn't have to pay for it, and they didn't have to be different types, and then one was 3, but they didn't have to be different types. Cool. Now, what does this one do? Well, it's a very similar thing, right? It's 1 colourless energy, and what you do is you search your deck for a card that evolves from Eevee, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Oh. What? Yeah, you see, I got all excited when I saw Signs of Evolution. I've just showed you my working, right? I showed you why I was excited when I saw the attack named Signs of Evolution. We've seen this attack 3 times on different Eevees. Why have they chosen to go and make it objectively bad now? Well, the answer is it's the card designers. They've essentially gone, look, the format we're in at the moment, this is what keeps the card fair and balanced, and my theory generally is that until we've actually played a bunch with the cards, it's probably a little bit rude to start insinuating the card designers may have made a mistake. The point I'm making here is, it's still a nice attack, but it's not as good, and I mean this objectively speaking, it is not as good as it has been in the past, because we've literally seen this exact attack, but better. Having said that, do we have a better Eevee at the moment? I don't. Well, okay, we got the one from Cosmic Eclipse. Now, the one from Cosmic Eclipse lets you search your deck for any number of Eevee and Eevee GX and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck, and the artwork is beyond adorable. So I do actually really like that one, just purely in terms of it helps you get all of your Pokemon out, all of your Eevees out at least, and that could be a fairly huge advantage. And to be fair, we've got another one for a single colourless energy that does let you search for a supporter card, which could be useful. That could be one we end up using, so yeah, maybe. Incidentally, they are both the ones from Cosmic Eclipse. Certainly, they're about the only two I would consider at the moment. So, okay, we've got some other Eevees, but I love searching for the evolution. Like, if I'm playing a Flareon deck, I want my Flareon. I want my Flareon as fast as I can possibly get my Flareon. So this works. Now, sure, your Eevee's in the active, and then your Eevee uses an attack, and then it's still sat in the active, and maybe your opponent KOs that Eevee, and if they do, you're kind of out of luck. But if your opponent doesn't, you've got your Flareon ready to go next turn. It's not a powerhouse Eevee, and we've had some powerhouse Eevees in the past, but I do kind of like it. We've even got an attack for 2 colourless energy that does 30 damage, flip a coin if tails, this attack does nothing. Again, not arguing this is a good attack, but with twin energy paying it in one go, it's a nice emergency attack. We then head on over to Flareon, and I mean the basics are fine, 110 HP, retreat cost of 2, it's all fine. And then we got 1 fire energy, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Now, burn isn't a particularly powerful special condition like that. They take 2 damage counters and then flip a coin, and if heads, they're no longer burned, but they've still taken the 2 damage. It's alright. Not loving it, but it's fine. But then we've got free energy. You do 120 damage, and you discard an energy from Flareon, and then you discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. I like this. It's a single prize Pokemon. It's a fire Pokemon, which means Welder is very, very much up for grabs here. Welder will work fairly beautifully with this particular Flareon. And then you're just doing decent damage. I mean, this is easily enough to get a one-hit KO on Zacian V. And that's a pretty widely played Pokemon at the moment. And there's a lot of grass and a lot of metal Pokemon that will be going down to this attack. Now, the main competition here is probably the promo Flareon. And the promo Flareon, 1 energy, 20 damage, will do 20. But then, if they flip tails, it will do another 20 at the end of their turn, so that's better. The stats in terms of HP, retreat cost, weakness are the same. Free energy, 130, discard 2 from this Pokemon. Okay, fine, you're taking a hit in terms of you're only doing 120 rather than 130. You are doing 10 less damage, but you're also discarding 1 energy from your opponent and 1 energy from you, rather than 2 energy from you. I don't think I am alone here when I say that I prefer this attack. And as it stands, there's no 260 HP metal Pokemon. If there was, then I'd be going, well, at least relevant, which, oh, wait, no. Am I being dumb? I might be being dumb, ladies and gentlemen. There very much is a relevant 260 HP metal Pokemon. It's Lucario and Melmetal. Now, to be fair, as soon as they use their GX attack, which will be early in the game, you do 30 less damage, so actually it won't be 260, it'll be 230. But if they haven't used their GX attack, the promo Flareon will get a KO. This new Flareon won't, but then again, there's a reason Arceus invented Vitality Band. Vitality Band will allow you to get a KO. So actually, I take it back. There is one very relevant Pokemon where dropping from 130 down to 120 does actually make a huge difference. Like a really, really big difference. But outside of that, I like this new Flareon more. I think it's a really good Pokemon. I do find it interesting that 2 of the 3 previous Flareon were actually promos. The other one was the one that came around in Cosmic Eclipse. It's got the ability Power Cheer that lets all of your Pokemon GX that evolved from Eevee do an extra 30 damage. I mean, the attack is free energy 90, discard an energy from Flareon. And like all of these have free energy damage discard, but 90 damage is low, so no. I like this. I really like this. I like this new Flareon. I like this new Eevee. I don't think either of them are out and out phenomenal, let's be clear. But I love the fact that we're getting them first, as it stands at the moment. And I do think there are strong arguments that these are the best Flareon and the best Eevee we've got at the moment. And I can absolutely see them finding their way into a few decks. But at this stage, I want to know what you think about these dudes. Oh, let's give them both between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. Yes, I'm aware this is probably a little bit high. But we don't often see these new promos leaked out when we haven't seen them elsewhere, so worth taking a look. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I would love to know all your opinions, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.